morning, Carmel. I'm Reagan Markland alongside Mrs. McFarland and Mrs. Hall. Thank you guys for joining us today on the Inside ESC show. Good afternoon, Carmel. I'm here with Mrs. McFarland. Mrs. McFarland, would you like to go ahead and introduce who we are?
Hi, I am Mrs. McFarland. I am the Director of Food Services for the Carmel Clay School Corporation. So not only do we plan the menus for the high school, but for the entire district. So that's 15 schools and 17 kitchens. I am really excited to introduce Mrs. Hull. Mrs. Hull is the cafeteria manager at Carmel High School.
Awesome. So, we're also here with the new lunch cart. Who had this idea? How did this come to be?
So we wanted to bring the lunch cart because of just the breakfast crowd in the mornings. Greyhound is really populated and a little busy, and so we wanted to see as kids get off the bus and that are traveling through the hallways would have a quick way to stop and just grab something to eat. So we wanted things available that we could move from the breakfast station to the media center for lunch. So we're trying to find something that's quick, convenient, and we heard the kids saying that they wanted another location that was a little bit more visible and on their path to class.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys have any obstacles trying to get this?
The obstacles, we're always trying to, budget, trying to make sure that the cart is affordable, that it's catching with the, appealing to kids, that it looks nice. We wanted something that would hold all of our choices, that kids could use their scan card. That was very important. We didn't want to just make it cash or, credit card. We want to make sure the kids could use student ID, and just something that was easy to move around from location to stock it. So some of those areas.
Yeah. Has it been successful so far?
It's been a little slow, so we wanted to introduce it to kids and to make sure that they know it's available. I think that's kind of hard, is to get new things, to get the word out to students that it's available in the media center every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're coming on to this job. Are you excited? How did this come to be? Why did you enter this?
I am excited. The past 2.5 years, I have been the cafeteria manager over at Carmel Middle School, and for 3 years before that, I was the assistant manager in the main cafeteria here. So I'm kind of coming full circle and moving back home, kind of. So I am excited. I've done some of it before, but once again, a whole new venture. So.
Absolutely. It's almost the end of the semester. Are there any things that you guys are looking to implement in the next semester?
We do have a few menu changes for next semester. Me personally, I'm kind of still getting used to this semester's menu. But next semester, we're hoping to try a few new varieties of the Smart Mouth pizza. We will have a build-your-own stir-fry bar. We have a homemade chili that we will actually make from scratch here in the kitchen. And then a new chicken tender basket, which we have those at the middle school right now, and the kids really like those.
So how did all these, that's a lot of great ideas that I'm sure will be successful. How did all those come to be?
So we look at the items that maybe the kids are not maybe selecting as often. We try to take those out of the menu cycle when we plan for the next semester. We'll look at things that maybe, like Mrs. Hull mentioned, really well at a middle school, so we want to bring to the high school if it's a successful food item. And then we obviously have to kind of play with our USDA guidelines and our Department of Education standards, so we look at how we can make the meals meet our requirements.
Sure. All right, be sure to stay tuned for the next segment of Inside ESC. So you're Director of Food Services. What exactly does that entail?
Director of Food Services is a position that oversees all 15 school cafeterias. We have about 200 employees district-wide. And really we're looking to make sure we follow the USDA standards, the IDOE protocols, and making sure, since we're a federally based program, that we're following government guidelines.
That's awesome.
And feeding kids nutritious, healthy meals.
So you're the new cafeteria manager, and how do you guys work together? What roles do you guys play?
Okay, well, I work for Jennifer, and I am taking over as the cafeteria manager here at Carmel High School. And so I will oversee basically the day-to-day operations in the main cafeteria. There are also 2 assistant managers, one in Greyhound and one in Freshman, so the 3 of us will work together to operate all 3 cafeterias.
Yeah, and Mrs. Hull makes sure the breakfast and meal program is ready to be served and prepared, and she has the right ingredients and food items, so she does all of the ordering. There's about 60 employees at the high school, so she manages that staff and makes sure that the parents have all their questions answered, and she obviously works with Dr. Harmis and the administration here at Carmel High School.
So were there any changes that were made going into this year?
Changes this year, we're definitely trying to expand our offerings in the new renovated main cafeteria. So we've added, some signage. We've added some new menu items. The fresh toppings bar have been really popular. So kids have that creativity and can customize their meal. I think that's kind of as we're seeing industry changes outside of school. People like to build their own menu items and have that selection. The breakfast cart was something that was new. We're trying to have breakfast more readily available and easily accessible. And just technology upgrades. So we've added the Meal Viewer app that we hope students are using. They can preview the menu, they can look at nutritionals, they can have notifications be sent to them if there's a favorite food item so they don't miss it or they know it's coming up. So there's a lot of different ways that they can be prepared for what's coming up the next day in meal service.
Are there ways that parents can utilize that app as well?
The parents can utilize it. There's links that can take them to our website. They can make prepayments from the app. So it's very quick and easy to put money on the students' accounts. Parents can look at nutritionals. They can look at meal charges if they want a history of the students purchasing, which sometimes that's what we get from high school. My students have spent too much, so the parents like to take a peek at that and see what things they're buying. So it really is very beneficial for parents and students to use our apps available.
Absolutely. So we were talking earlier, and it seems that there might be some other things that students don't necessarily know about when they're actually going through the lunch line.
I think the big thing that we want to get across to students is just what makes up a lunch. So students know that they can take a variety of entrees. So our entrees are considered the meat and the grain of the meal. And the big thing is students can take 2 fruit servings and 2 vegetable servings. So our servings are half-cup servings, and they can take a full cup of each. So we really want to get that out there to make that meal full and to have every choice. And then the variety of milks that they can select one of those to go with their lunch.
Absolutely. So we were also talking about earlier, we're going to go in a little bit and try some smoothies. How do you guys choose those new products?
We attend conferences and different food shows to get professional development and just to get ideas from new vendors. So a few weeks ago, Mrs. Hull and I attended the Indiana School Nutrition Association conference that was held in South Bend, Indiana. And new vendors will show up and have new ideas. And the smoothie was one product that our managers really liked. They thought the students would like. They liked that it was 100% fruit juice mixed with low-fat yogurt. It had a great taste profile. We thought the colors were appealing to students. And we really appreciate our manager feedback to try to find products that know their students would like.
So what do each of you guys love about your job?
I like being with the students, being with the kids. I have 2 kids here at Carmel High School, so it's kind of fun to see kids that I know, just to hear what they like, what they're talking about, and just the fast pace, the activity that goes on here is fun.
Yeah. I would say the thing I love the most about my job is being a registered dietitian and having a nutrition background. I can't think of a population that's better than feeding kids and showing kids new choices. We feed preschool kids, and to see these students have yogurt for the first time, or maybe have a smoothie for the first time, or try hummus or something different.
So how long have you been doing this job?
This is my 10th year in school nutrition. I started out as an assistant director and then took a director role about 8 years ago. So this has been my career.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you said you've been doing, not here at the high school, but you've been doing this job for a while too.
I have. This is my 8th year with Carmel Clay Schools. Started out as a food service sub 8 years ago, and then I've just kind of worked my way through and then into management. I have a degree in food science, so I do have a food background, so kind of still utilizing that background.
So I also think that students don't necessarily realize all that goes into making the lunches and the options that they have. Can you give a little insight as to what it takes? What are some of those regulations?
Yeah, so our district has a little over 16,000 students. So we feed everywhere from infants to 12th grade. Each level has a different set of standards. So we have to look at weekly calories, sodium levels. We have to make sure specific fruits and vegetables are offered. There is a weekly requirement based on colors and just overall quality of the food item, we have to look at saturated fat, trans fat, to make sure that those are in our products. And we purchase with a group of school districts. So everywhere from southern Indiana to a little bit northern Indiana, we all buy together, find the same items, and make sure that we're all feeding kids, the right food items that meet the government guidelines.
Absolutely. So what do those day-to-day operations look like for you?
A little bit of everything, and especially here at the high school, just as you were saying, with the new Top-It bars, just a lot of options for the kids to start with their basic entree and then add things to it. A lot of fresh options, which is fabulous, just a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables that we're preparing. Just yesterday, even a fresh pico de gallo, which is wonderful, not something that's store-bought, it's actually chopped. Everything fresh here and put together here. So a lot of
all their
options
salads
like that.
are made daily, prepared fresh each and every day.
Wow, that's awesome. Good afternoon, Carmel. We're on our way to go to Greyhound for another segment. While we're walking, we wanted to go ahead and get to know Mrs. McFarland a little bit better.
Yeah.
So when did you get into this career?
So after I'm a registered dietitian, so after my dietetic internship, I had a 2-week rotation at a school system. And it just wasn't really something that was even on my radar. And after spending those 2 weeks there, I definitely felt like that was where my career was going to land, was in schools.
That's awesome. So what's your family like?
So I have a husband who works in the community, and I have 2 kids, one at West Clay Elementary, and another daughter who is at the Educare program at Carmel Middle School. So not only am I an employee, but I'm also a parent for the school system.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the holidays are coming up. Do you have any favorite holiday traditions?
Favorite holiday traditions is just being home. I think being a working mom, I just like the break in the school schedule to be home. We definitely like going to Sullivan's train ride, if you've ever heard of that in Broad Ripple, and just spending time with family.
Do you have any favorite holiday memories?
Favorite holiday memories, definitely going to my grandma's house. We would have a big holiday meal and just see cousins that live out of state. So just definitely getting together with family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're the director of food services, so I have to ask, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I'll go with the winter food, but definitely chili. So I think, again, it comes from my grandma having a very staple meal that we'd always have when we'd come home from school or come home from college on breaks, and I feel like she would always have a pot of chili for us. So that was definitely something that I make for my family, and I always pull out my grandma's recipe.
Oh, that's so awesome. All right, be sure to stay tuned as we head into the next segment. So we are really excited. As you can see, we have some different smoothies in front of us. Do you want to kind of explain what's going on here, where these ideas came from?
Okay. We currently do some smoothies at breakfast. We do an 8-ounce smoothie that we make here with yogurt, fruit, and juice. We saw these at the Indiana School Nutrition Association conference that we went to a couple of weeks ago. And these are kind of just a different formulation that we thought actually might be a little bit thinner, a little more drinkable for the kids. And in terms of preparation, probably a little bit easier for us, and some different options in terms of flavors. So something we found at the food show and we thought the kids might like, so we wanted to test it out today. Not something that we currently have, but wanted to sample it with the kids and see if they like it, see how it compares to what we currently offer.
Yeah, so students can actually have the opportunity to get those today at Greyhound,
yes,
right?
We're going to sample them during lunch at Greyhound today.
All right, so let's go ahead and we can try these. This first one's a blue raspberry, right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, that's good. It's like one of those Go-Gurts. It's good.
It is.
And then this one, it's a strawberry
This
banana.
is strawberry banana. Yep.
That one's good too. So which are one of these your favorites?
I probably like the blue raspberry. Anything blue is always fun. There are a couple of other flavors. We picked a couple of their popular ones. There's also an orange one also that's really good.
Oh wow. So do you guys do things like this often, where you find a product and have the school test it?
We do. Usually when we go to food shows like that, we'll find things that we kind of like that might just something different seem kind of fun for the kids, or something different, and then bring them back to sample them with the kids and see if it's something that would potentially work that they would like.
How often do you guys go to these shows?
This conference is actually offered once a year through the Indiana State School Nutrition Association. And then there's also a national conference offered once a year during the summer, also another opportunity. So actually twice a year we go to this.
Wow,
So.
wow. That's super exciting. Well, I can't wait to see what the students think of it and see whether or not this is something that we actually bring to the school. 'Cause I love these, and I think that's something great for students who are on the go in the morning and maybe don't have time to eat breakfast at home.
Right. Another option.
Right. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us here today in the studio. Be sure to stay tuned for the next time and episode of Inside ESC. Thank you. For CHTV, this has been Reagan Markland.